We're here with Brent Cook, founder and senior advisor at Exploration Insights. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to see you.
And so tell us about the investor sentiment at this year's conference and what that's been like.
Hard to say. You know, this whole last week was pretty crazy. Friday, everything collapsed.
Absolutely.
I saw that as a good sign. I actually bought some stocks on Friday. At least mining, gold stocks, liquid gold stocks. I think longer term the gold price looks like it's going to do quite well in the next 6 months to 3 years. So in that respect, it should be positive.
Good time to invest.
It's, you know, with this people pulling out because of the virus and such, there's not as many people as I would have expected, given how well the gold price has done this year. But
that is interesting because seeing the gold price rise and seeing how the market was doing, there's clearly an overreaction in the market right now. And why do you think that's necessarily happening?
Well, certainly in the gold space, people liquidate what they can when things go to hell. And so they're selling what they can, which is always gold. There's always a market for gold. That's why it went down on Friday, in my opinion. There's no fundamental reason it should be, keep going down. The fundamentals behind gold are extremely positive. I'm sure you've talked about that with other people.
Absolutely.
Gold looks like it's going to do well for a change.
And speaking of the mining industry as a whole, where do you think the money is to be made?
In what Joe and I do at Exploration Insights is trying to focus on identifying early stage exploration companies with projects that, if they're successful, are going to have an impact on a major mining company's production profile. Basically, what we're looking for is early stage discoveries that a major is going to want to buy. Because the real problem that mining companies face right now, the industry as a whole, is for most metals, we're mining more and producing more than we're finding. So the reserves are declining faster than we're finding them. And they recognize that. We're seeing a lot of the major mining companies start putting money into the juniors, either through investments or joint ventures. So they recognize that 5-10 years out, they're not going to have the ore they need. And if you make a discovery today of a large deposit, you're looking 7 to 20 years before it goes to production. So they got to do it right now. So that's where the real money is going to be made, is identifying those few projects that are good enough to attract a major.
And speaking of some of those good few projects, are there any that are on your radar right now that you think our audience would be interested in?
Sure. A copper project in Alaska that South 32 is involved with Trilogy Metals. That is going ahead. South 32 just put $145 million into this project to get 50%. There's some permitting that's happening right now. If that goes ahead, and we think it will, at some point we think South 32 takes out Trilogy. So that's a good copper deposit. In terms of another copper project, early stage, Hannon Metals, they've identified a 100-kilometer trend of copper mineralization, or at least a horizon that has some copper mineralization. Very early stage, but if that pans out, that's going to be big enough to attract a major. So those are the sorts of things we're looking at. Platinum Group Metals, another one that is in South Africa, developing a platinum palladium deposit. Their partner is likely to take them out over the next, as things evolve. So those are the sorts of things we're looking at.
That's great. I mean, at this moment, because of the uncertainty in the markets, a lot of people get rid of their riskier stocks, and a lot of the junior companies end up taking a hit because of that. And so would you say this is a good time for retail investors to look at that as an opportunity to get into the market?
Most definitely in terms of the mid-sized mining companies. Like I said, I bought stuff on Friday, but I only bought things that were fairly liquid. Known names like Sandstorm, Equinox, Rio Tinto, Mag Silver, Pan American Silver. They're liquid known stocks. Those is what I would be buying right now. The very, very small ones, that's a real risky game. I mean, I didn't buy any, although some of our stock got whacked pretty bad. I'm waiting to see what happens on those, because you buy those, and if things don't improve, you can't sell them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you as always for your great insight.
Yeah, thank you.